All right. Coast to coast we go. It's time to jump into that. But before we do, got to remind you guys that we are also presented by our friends at AKM Turf and Greens. Reach out to AKM Turf and Greens today. You can see, look at that, Hayden. That is grade A backyard right there. You got a 3-hole setup there to work on your putting. And then you get into the rest of the backyard, and they've got you decked out for the perfect backyard to entertain. You can have some tables out here. You could grill. You can throw a little picnic. Everything runs up right to the trees. It's all edged off the right way. Grade A work from our friends at AKM Turf and Greens. So remake the backyard into a place of your dreams. Reach out to them. info@akmturfandgreens.com today. Get $500 off your project and turn your backyard into a weedy, patchy mess into that perfect backyard oasis. Code PonyUp for $500 off your project. Reach out to them, our friends at AKM Turf and Greens.
Looks sweet. So much less maintenance than real grass.
Yeah, I know, right? One day that'll be my whole backyard. One big old backyard of putting greens, and I don't know, maybe a whole fake chipping area and everything.
With all that free time you got, right?
Yeah, all the free time I've got, especially during football season. It's just a total mail it in.
Yes,
speaking of mailing it in, the OU offense continues to struggle, and Josh Heupel, after getting fired from Oklahoma's offensive coordinator when he worked for Bob Stoops, he returns for the first time. Won a national championship there. All my OU buddies went up for the game. They came away very disappointed.
Volunteers win 25-15, lower scoring game than I think most expected. As you said, this Oklahoma offense is really struggling. They aren't able to find their rhythm. They still are missing some guys due to injuries. So I'm hoping for their sake they can get some of those guys back and really be able to pick it up. But for now, 4 weeks in, 77th scoring offense in the nation. Not something you anticipated from an Oklahoma offense. We've seen them be crazy explosive in the past few years, and that's just not it right now. TCU is going to have to fight the Giants, though, this year. They're going to have to play Alabama and Georgia for a chance to play for an SEC title later this year, and they're going to play both of them in the regular season. So we'll see. We'll probably get a rematch of that if they continue to win the way they are. But that's where Tennessee Volunteers are heading. Top 5 team in the country now, so they keep rolling.
Yeah, Nico Iamaleava is a stellar. He was on three's number 1 overall prospect in the country when he came out. Big time pickup for the Vols and is now paying off. Again, I think for OU, they almost, it seems like, face some of the issues that not SMU really did with Preston at quarterback, but they went and inserted Michael Hawkins in there. He can run around a little bit more. And I mean, that's what they're going to go with this week when they play against Auburn. So, and first start for Michael Hawkins, Jordan Hare Stadium. Weird things happen on the Plains. So good luck to him. Again, a local guy as well. But OU is in a really tough situation. I mean, they've had a lot of changes from Jeff Lebby leaving, Seth Luttrell. I will say some North Texas fans are probably just feeling very validated the way Seth Luttrell's offense looks in Norman. So we'll see how the rest of their year goes.
Unsurprised.
Yeah, firsthand experience right there for y'all.
Yes,
all right. Speaking of a game that was just wild in a sense, I was watching on Twitter, and I'm not sure exactly what time this game was, but I remember seeing Michigan fans heading for the exits. Oh, is this what it's going to look like for the new era? Michigan can't do this. Michigan's getting gashed by Lincoln Riley. And Michigan was able to come away with a 27-24 win.
Welcome to the Big Ten, USC. Lincoln Riley's finesse offense, they met Big Ten smash mouth football. Michigan rushed for 290 yards on 46 attempts. That's how you wear down a team. You win the time of possession battle. And this was a back and forth game. Michigan had to punch it in on a 2-yard rushing touchdown with 37 seconds left. Michigan is another team that has had quarterback controversy until this week. Alex Orji was able to win his first start as Michigan quarterback. Wolverines hold on to win 27-24. And I probably misjudged the Wolverines a little early. If they can keep this formula and they can continue to run the rock the way that they have, then they could be a team that comes back and could be a Big Ten contender. I'm not saying they're going to be, but they showed some flash this weekend.
Well, Alex Orji, Saxy quarterback product. So quite the journey he's had as well. But yeah, that one really kind of surprised me the way Michigan was able to come back in a sense and retake control of that game and win it. I mean, that just doesn't seem like their MO. They're going to get out ahead of you and grind you down and do all of those things. And kind of similar to what BYU was able to do in a sense against SMU, just the way they can really mash you a little bit, and they just crushed Kansas State, which also now in a quarterback controversy it seems as well. So SMU fans, you guys are coming out on the lucky end of it appears, because everybody else around the country is dealing with quarterback issues in a way.
That was the talk on the way out of the stadium. People were like, have you seen the BYU score? I mean, they were kicking their ass. Provo, Utah is a very dangerous place to play. Some crazy stuff happens out in Provo. Parker Kingston, early nominee for Play of the Year, ran 140 yards on a 90-yard punt return. It looked like he was running the 200-meter. So he was running around the corner. He got the edge and took it for a score. It was a muffed punt that went behind him about 20 yards. Looked like it was going to be a disaster, but that's why you don't give up on the play. BYU makes SMU look better the more that they win. K-State was predicted to win the Big 12 by some, and they go out and get embarrassed in Utah. BYU might be for real. We'll have to see. The holy war against Utah is going to be a hell of a game later this year.
Yeah, I think my picks were Utah and Kansas State. I don't really know if anybody wants to win the Big 12 from what it seems like, but no, there's a lot of there's gonna be a lot of parity in that league. I think it wouldn't shock me if there was like a 2-loss Big 12 champion, but I have a lot of trust in Utah, and now I've got a lot of trust in BYU the way they're rolling.
No doubt. So we'll go ahead and come back to this next one. Keep on talking about Utah. Number 12, Utah traveled to number 14, Oklahoma State. Utes take care of business in Stillwater. They win 22-19. They moved to 1-0 in Big 12 play. First game in the Big 12. They beat another team that by some looked like they were going to be poised to win the Big 12. It was 22-3, 6 minutes left in the game. OK State made it look better with a pair of late touchdowns. Ollie Gordon, one who looked like a Doak Walker Award preseason favorite after a monster 2023 campaign, he was only limited to 42 yards rushing. He only has 258 on the year. Pokes are struggling to get the ground game going. They have a veteran offensive line group, obviously a veteran running back, and you just haven't seen that from them yet. We'll see if Oklahoma State's able to bounce back, but Utah looks for real.
Yeah, didn't get to watch that game, but very surprising on Ollie Gordon. I mean, that's one where, I know he had the little run-in with the law, but man, didn't think it would impact him on the field like that so far this season. But yeah, Utah, they're so steady as a program. I really got a ton of respect for what they do out there.
You have a 7th-year quarterback. You're going to have some stability back there.
Yeah, Cam Rising's my age. It's where do you want to go from here? You want to touch on SMU's next opponent after Florida State, or do you want to touch on one of the favorite discussions of this podcast in conference realignment?
We'll talk quickly about Louisville. Louisville remains unbeaten, 31-19 W versus Georgia Tech. They only ran 46 plays offensively, but their quarterback, Tyler Show, is very efficient, 13 for 19, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's really going to be what we looked at as far as Kevin Jennings goes this past weekend. And other quarterbacks around the ACC are proving that you can win that way. First real test this weekend, they'll travel to South Bend, Indiana to face Notre Dame as they face SMU the following week.